my boy. We're pilgrims in an unholy land.
You're listening to Comics Podcasting on the Edge of Civility.
Alright, kids. Tonight, we're going to bring you episode 187 of The Mean Geek, Comics Podcasting on the Edge of Civility. With you, as always, is your host, myself, the Tech Jedi. By my side, as always, the Reverend Mad Duck, Bill McGinnis.
Drop 187 on a motherfucking cop, son.
Yo!
I have no idea what that means. Like, none.
187 is a murder.
Oh, good God. Well, I won't be doing that. For those of you who don't know.
Can I just tell you, I'm so happy that my autocorrect now recognizes motherfucker. I get MU and it comes up with motherfucker. So I've got one touch motherfucking.
Well, of course you do.
Oh shit. Last episode we had to cut off quick because you needed to get to Betty by.
Yeah, getting up at 4 a.m. is
A treat, to say the least.
awkward.
You know, and I'm sure that you do everything you can to make sure you get that shift. But
It's kind of nice. Well, here's the thing. Like, if you go in at 5 a.m., you get out at 2. Well, I get out at like 3 or 4, but, you know, on time rarely happens. But
yeah,
the fact of the matter is like, it's kind of nice to get out and have the rest of the evening and still be awake.
For a little while.
I tend to get a lot more 11 to 8s or 1 to 10s. But the problem is, like, I have an hour drive in the sun after, all that. So after a 10-hour day, like, I tend to fall asleep driving home. Which is still relatively unpleasant.
yes.
I hit a curb going 35, like, just...
Stop doing that.
Yeah, wheel came up off there. Although I'll tell you this, like, you don't fall asleep again after that shit. Like, you're wide fucking awake.
I ain't looking for another co-host.
I was like full on, like, I'll be fine rest of the ride. Don't you worry about me, man. La 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 la. Driving home. No, awful. Very bad. Not to be endorsed.
So what happened today? We're rather disappointed.
Oh?
Yes. Charles Soule is out of a Marvel job. So is Javier Pulido.
Oh, yeah.
She-Hulk has been canceled.
God
damn it.
I know you love the book, and I enjoyed the book immensely. It is a fun read, but it is not like mind-numbingly shocking. It's a very strange book, and it has a unique style to it.
Yeah, of the kind of fun style.
It was a very fun book, but it wasn't necessarily everyone's cup of tea, and it was very it was a slow build despite being a lot of fun. So, I'm sure they had their challenges with it.
I'm sure of it. I mean, but still. There's a dearth of ungritty books running around. So it's nice to have a pretty quality book that you didn't have to walk away depressed from.
No, you know what? There has been a little step forward, though, with Captain Marvel's huge upswing on this run, Miss Marvel being an excellent read.
Squirrel Girl coming.
I'm sorry, what?
You didn't know?
No, I did not. You're obviously lying to me.
No, it's absolutely true.
Squirrel Girl is getting their own book.
Squirrel Girl gets her own book in January.
By?
I don't know, but I'll be buying 4 of them. Come on, it's going to be fun.
Who do you put on? Well, maybe they're going to move this team to Squirrel Girl.
Yeah, it could be. You could make anybody do Squirrel Girl.
Who would you put on Squirrel Girl?
Who would you put on Squirrel Girl? Fred Hembeck can do Squirrel Girl. Who are funny writers?
There's a lot, but I mean, they're varying stuff. Fred Van Lente is a very funny writer, but not in, in a very convoluted. Cullen Bunn can be very funny. Kieran Gillen can be very funny.
Yeah, all true.
Kieran Gillen would do an amazing role, but that would be like right now that'd be a giant waste of that dude's time.
Dan Slott can be pretty funny when he wants to be.
Absolutely.
I mean, we saw that in Silver Surfer. Oh, I didn't see that on the list.
Oh,
either.
Spider-Man. Slott's The Thing, Idol of Millions, although not phenomenal, definitely had high humor moments. He's been very funny.
I want to say Peter David, but he's never done a straight-up comedy book.
That's not true.
Really?
Soul Searchers.
Is it? Because I only read that one graphic and I was bored to tears by it.
Really?
I did not laugh. Was that supposed to be comedy?
Yes, that's a comedic book. But
I never did read his Saxon
X Factor
Violence.
was pretty much a straight-up comedy book.
Really?
The original run on it, like, yes, there was a lot of mutant angst, but his humor levels were pretty goddamn high.
That changed, though, because...
Oh, no. Well, everything Peter David does gets darker over time, whether he wants it to or not.
Wow, how did a C-clamp just go through his fucking foot?
They're dropping things on him.
Oh, yeah, we're watching...
Stage Fright.
Stage Fright. The horror operatic meatballs takeoff, I guess you might want to call it.
A musical camp horror movie.
Which I don't think anybody's done before. A music camp? Performance camp?
Well, movie? You know, you wouldn't even consider doing this till Glee, really, so...
And the horny director gets killed by... I think it's the Pop, myself.
I don't care who it is. I'm just happy that anybody wearing a leather hat gets murdered first.
Wow, he just ripped his entire fucking foot in half. At any rate.
Trouble right
books.
here in River City.
What else happened? Nothing in the last 5 days since we recorded last.
I haven't seen a ton of news. Gotham is getting great reviews. Have to visit that at some point.
That. We're missing Flash. Well, no, not for another 50 minutes.
You know, I have a Hulu, so they're all on that. I have no idea.
Yeah, the foil isn't going to help you on that one, guy.
Neither is a complete lack of fingers.
Oh, no. Oh, that's fucking crazy talk. It's innovative anyway.
Well, it's something.
You should see this kill, fellas. It's crazy talk.
It's a very... it's a very strange film.
And yet more fun than I thought.
You are quite enjoying this. Like, I really feel like I should switch to a different movie. Like,
well, so I can hate it and go,
yeah,
ah!
That's kind of the point of these things.
You know, you picked them. You pick all of the motherfuckers. At any rate, yeah, I don't have any news. I don't have any opinions really this week.
Did we announce that we're not doing a DC broadcast this month?
Well,
did we talk?
I don't
about
remember.
That?
Did we? Okay, for those of you who don't know, when previews came out 2 months ago, I didn't get anything in it because it was all that lenticular 3D cover horse shit. And even though I've seen them in the shop and some of them look pretty cool, you know, they keep the general wisdom is don't buy what you'd complain about. Or however, you know, don't support, vote with your mouth. You don't vote with your money.
Wow.
Okay, how are you? Hi, Rev.
You're my senator, sir. Shame on you, you filthy hobo.
You vote with your mouth.
No, absolutely not.
Vote with your wallet, yes. And I said, no, I don't want these stupid covers anymore, so I'm not buying them. And I'm sure DC is horribly stressed at that.
Yeah.
Are plotting ways, even as we speak, to appease me.
Now, here's an interesting question. Of the DCs that you didn't buy, let's say roughly 10 books.
All right.
How many do you think you will look for?
Well, being a Batman idiot, I will eventually go back and find the Batman and Detective.
Okay.
I I gotta find the Sinestro because you reminded me that, we were missing a good book. So that's not, I can't have that block of, text just missing from fucking everything. So I'm gonna get those 3 back.
Probably about it.
I don't care about Superman. Unless I can get it super cheap, I don't really care about Superman.
Found it for $1 or $2, that's one thing, but
Yeah.
just to fill a hole
Yeah.
with your mouth, apparently.
I'm sorry!
You should be. And the worst part is you control this. Like, you could have been like, no, I'm just going to stop this and rewind for a second. No, I'm not going to put that out there.
You can still do that now.
Now we're too far gone now. You'd have to recreate moments. They're never the same.
No, none of this is unchangeable. Once we start books, I can just crimp out everything after 187 and jump to the books.
But I will look for my own copy of Sinestro. But yeah, I can't say I'm heartbroken about missing any of them.
What's with the needless foreclosure subplot?
Whoa, come on.
What does it really help?
It builds his desperation to have the show be successful despite all the murders.
I suppose. It couldn't be just his creative, death.
It's Meatloaf.
Yeah, so it couldn't be his creative death.
Man.
Don't you say it. I know where you're about to go. Don't you dare say that I am a huge Meatloaf fan.
My mom makes an excellent meatloaf.
Oh, for God's sake. How about Saga 22?
In which the happy couple becomes an unhappy couple.
Yes, they just... It's a terrible mess. There's all kinds of marital strife. What was happening with Grandma's not talking right in the first few pages? Was she just mad? And
Grandma, she might be doped up. Or some sort of response to the non-stop death of her loved ones over the... Not to mention she's got to clean up giant walrus poop and...
Yeah, she's just talking another language. They don't really explain why she's talking her origin language for no reason. But she's mad because Marco is out somewhere and Alana's just fucking around, blowing all her lines, doing drugs. The whole time, Prince Robot has gone back to his pop.
King Robot. With the world's biggest hit. Charlie Brown, sit down. You are coming in second.
Who is apparently a Sony Jumbotron, for fuck's sake. Covered in Renaissance regalia.
Thank God they didn't draw a blowjob on that one.
Yeah, I didn't want to see that one.
That's a lot of pixels to draw, people.
Yeah, see, there's the drugs and the dance instructor, and nobody trusts anybody anymore, and everybody's mad at each other. And the janitor shows up at the TV station and starts demanding airtime and blowing people away. And he thinks he's actually going to convince anyone of anything by being a terrorist on television.
This is a really successful janitor murderer.
He is. How did he do all this?
First off, they're at war. You'd think they'd have a lot more guards. I mean, this guy's just flying around with a shotgun and a baby like fucking nomad and pulling off capers. I'm like, what is this a CIA? Is Steven Seagal, the TV robot, playing this fucking janitor? How is this happening? If I just walked into a hospital with a shotgun to take a baby, I'm going to get my ass shot off in about 8 seconds.
Yeah, all true. Totally true.
Now, I don't, maybe, no, let's even argue that this janitor has some shotgun experience, because I'd be sitting there how do you load this? Bam! Fuck, man! I didn't even shoot one nurse. But let's say he has some shotgun experience. Still, you'd think that there'd be some trained fucking snipers or shit. He's got a giant TV for a head. Headshots seem fucking cheap and plentiful on Robot World. I mean, call me crazy. Dude, I don't know if I can make this shot. It's a giant fucking television, Bob. I think you can hit it. You're a goddamn robot sniper with a TV for a brain.
It couldn't be that difficult, could it?
Yeah, I mean, shit, dude. When's the last time you shot a rifle?
A rifle? It's been a good 12 years anyway.
All right. Would you be willing to bet money that you could, from like 200 feet, hit a fucking television?
Oh, sure.
Yeah! Yeah! Like, it's been 12 years, and I didn't do it a lot then. You think you could hit a TV? I fucking do! I totally think I can make that shot. Now, what if you were a trained fucking robot police sniper? Yeah. I'm thinking you could blow a fucking janitor's head off in this scenario.
You could blow off his knobs one by one.
Yeah. Well, he's holding the baby. Good point. Don't shoot it. Shoot the fucking giant TV. Oh, the baby could get hit by broken glass. I get it. I see. All right, that's our safety fucking valve here.
It does seem to be a bit of a logic problem.
You know, I mean, I get not shooting him while he's carrying the baby, but at the same time, like, this guy's just fucking doing what, like, driving around town, blowing people up in Wendy's parking lots.
Alana just needs to get her shit straight, man. She is a little bit of too much of a free spirit out there. I've got an idea. Let's hide and live our dreams.
But you know what? This is when you have the good thing about this, like, is that it's real, right? Like, you take these two characters who are free spirits, who fall in love together, have phenomenal fucking interracial, interspecies, whatever you want to call it, whoopee time, and
Whoopee time.
The fact of the matter is, though, is they're both impetuous. Like, oh, are they legitimately love? Absolutely. But these are also people that just, like, they were at war, they stop being at war, like, they run off, they do whatever the fuck they feel like in the moment. Like, let's hide out, but I'm going to hide out while being a fucking television actress. What? No, wait.
Such a terrible idea.
You know, I love my wife, but she's ignoring me to take drugs and be on TV, so despite the fact that I'm a fucking fugitive on this world, I'm going to wrap fucking gauze around my face and flirt with this dance instructor.
This fruit bat dance instructor.
Yeah, the planning that goes into these guys' fucking epic plans is so bad. Like, the janitor's a fucking genius compared to these things. And they can't catch them either.
It's true. Nobody can catch anybody. And they're not, you know, what
Everybody
happened?
catches Prince Robot. Like, that guy's walking around state-of-the-art with guards and shit, and he can't get a goddamn thing done. He's apparently the stormtrooper in this scenario. It's like, wait a minute. I've got an entire legion of trained troops behind me, apparently cloned off the world's greatest bounty hunter, who can't hit shit, and fucking farmers and pirates and royalty on shitbird planets in the ass end of nowhere can kick all of our combined asses? No one sees a problem with this?
Need to have a little bit more training. Bigger budget for training.
You shouldn't even need training. You've literally got fucking clones of the deadliest man in the universe.
Are you sure you're not confusing that with Star Wars?
That's what I said. Farmers and pirates and princesses. That's the rebellion. Stormtrooper.
I see.
What the hell did you think I was talking about?
I thought you were talking about Saga.
I'm saying this is comparative. This is a comparative moment.
You moved over so fast and so seamlessly.
I went, motherfucker. Catch up.
Damn. But it is an enjoyable book, and it's high quality.
No, it's a great book. But yeah, like, I'm just, this janitor thing is just boggling my mind. But Prince Robot's having a terrible time, and now they caught up to Alana enough that her castmates and her drug-dealing best friend, the stage director, who gives her ass up in about 13 seconds, which is what you'd expect from a drug-dealing best friend.
Pretty much. I mean, there's no shocking there. You know, she's just like, you know what? I just as soon live. I know she was a soldier, but you know, you might kill her before she can kill me.
You killed 2 actors. This job's going south. No, I'm out. Fuck it.
Time for greener pastures.
Good day.
Or bluer pastures, whatever the hell planet I'm on. I don't know that shit.
No, Saga is an excellent read, man, and it had such a light hand, and it's getting that little bit darker that every book seems to as it goes on.
Yeah.
No book stays jolly. Have you noticed that?
I did.
Even Atomic Robo has gotten darker, and
A little bit. I wouldn't call it grim or gritty just yet.
Well, I mean, he's trapped in the past. He's a bomb now. You know, like, it's definitely... There's still latent funny... I mean, Hellboy is just fucking...
All too true. So, I'm reading Trees 4, right? And, honestly, I'm intensely bored by it. There's several pages of this Zhen character guiding the country boy through the city and meeting friends, and they finally get to the art school Tian was supposed to be at to begin with. The country boy is Tian.
Zhen and Tian?
Yeah, pretty much. And he finally gets there after all this time. After like 4 fucking issues, he finally shows up at school. Boy, the tardy slip that he's going to get is just fucking nuts. I'm not even sure
it's a school. I think he went to a place where you can see it differently. Like
it's a retreat. Then.
Yeah, like the whole logic of it is so pointless.
Artist collective or something.
It seemed like a build-up to talk about what the character's sexuality and everyone's acceptance thereof.
Yeah, okay. And then over at the research station, it seems like the flowers are biomechanical, which is kind of interesting. But they kind of skip over that to mention some military horse shit happening in Somalia with helicopters based on the top of the tree or some shit. I'm like, what the fuck is happening here?
Is it just me? It's like you have a scientist who's basically breaking down because he doesn't want to leave because he's finally found something interesting and he doesn't want somebody else to find something interesting. It's
right.
Like, I'm not too up on my military science protocol, but... Y'all would send this motherfucker home. No, it can't happen without me. It totally can, Bob. We've got 8 scientists that we can switch out that are exactly like you, only less fucking crazy.
That's pretty much it.
And all that political horseshit that we were reading in the last one, completely gone from this one.
Not even existing. Just glossed straight over, forgotten, not there.
I mean, is it nice that Ellis came out pro-transgender? Yeah, sure, cool. I have no problem with that. Like, everybody can be whoever, fuck who you want. As long as they're over the age of 18 and not a fucking farm animal, I don't really give a rat's ass. But I don't understand the point of this fucking book.
The rest of it, I mean, yeah, there's some characters in there. How many issues is it going to take to tie them all together? Is he going to bother tying them all together, or are they all just going to have their own arcs over 50,000 issues? And what?
It's starting to feel like the Love Boat. Like they're just going to come together in the most random way at the last possible minute. Like, you're my daughter. You're my father. I have a picture of you. I have a picture of you, too. It's the same picture. Oh.
Commercial break.
Gopher. Isn't that sweet? No, fuck off. Like, I love Warren Ellis, and I don't understand this fucking book at all. And you know what? Like, if I got a graphic that feel like, I would not be like, yay, now I have them all together. I can read it in one fell swoop. Like, it's not building well. I don't fucking care. Like, trees are on Earth. Like, this is the worst concept to begin with.
And I noticed in the order form today, there's an 8, and it doesn't say of blah. So this is going to go on forever.
Much like trees.
Yeah, the only organism on Earth without a defined lifespan.
Really?
Yep.
What about the platypus?
Platypus is 6 to 8 years.
Why do you know that?
Because I had the Encyclopedia Britannica at my house and nothing else.
No, okay.
When they've turned off your electricity and school is out... It's late on a Sunday afternoon. The library is fucking closed. You read the fucking encyclopedia, baby.
That is the best reason I've ever heard for knowing the lifespan of a platypi. But yeah, I mean, Trees is well written. It's very real sci-fi in the sense that it's a concept and it's a slow build around it.
Right.
But you know what? Like, if you were reading this as a sci-fi novel, you'd be like, dude, they're fucking alien trees. Like, do something.
Yes.
Yes.
The equivalent of 4 issues, if you...
100 pages.
Yeah, easily. Yeah. Yeah, it really is, because 22 pages a book. Yeah. So if you got the equivalent, 100 pages into a sci-fi novel, I mean, that's 50% of the last 3 books I read.
Even if it's an epic, like let's say it's a 500-page book, if you get past the first 100 pages, it starts to get interesting. Piss off, Bob.
Really? I gotta slog through 100 fucking pages before... Really? 100? Come on.
No.
You gotta give me better than that. This is money.
So
yeah, I'm not getting... I didn't order number 8, because I just don't care. Now, we finally have... Wow, she got some... Goddamn. We finally come to a new Ed Brubaker book.
Now, the downside of this is that FADEOUT has apparently ended.
Yeah. But, the guys can only do so many goddamn things at once. And if we want to have high-quality books from these well-established, deserving names...
Is this the best team in comics right now?
Is what?
Pardon me. Is Brubaker and Phillips the best team in comics right now?
God, that's tough because not everybody is the same on every other book. Because Bendis and Oming are just staggering.
Well, Bendis and Oming, they've worked on a couple things together now. Yeah. But primarily Powers and then a couple of side projects here or there. Uh-huh. These guys have gone to various, Criminal, Sleeper.
Yep.
That Batman Elseworlds from way back when.
Was Phillips on Incognito?
Yep.
Fucking yeah.
Criminal, FADEOUT.
Then Oming and Glass were only on one book. I mean, there's a lot of books in that series, but it's still only one book. So, God, damn. But this is pretty much your standard late 40s writer, dead actress book so far. But it's only one issue, so
it's a pulp. Matter. It's a definitive pulp. You got a flawed but likable lead character who's bad with women but loyal to his friends no matter how dumb they are.
Yep.
Drinks too much. You got your wacky characters, hot but dead girls. It's a noir, and like every other noir, it's awesome. But it reads like a criminal. Like, I don't understand why this isn't a...
every once in a while, I assume a writer has to put his ideas into a different... how do I even phrase this? Not a different milieu, because it's still crime, it's still noir.
It's still the same partner, and it's the same publisher, so...
Yeah, but a different enough setting where it's not what you've done before.
Right.
Except it is what you've done before.
But that's the thing.
So
he's
whatever.
Done... now, I guess maybe because Criminal is, for lack of a better term, it's a shared world. And theoretically...
This may be more standalone.
Right. Maybe this isn't linearly involved in any way.
And, of course, the jealous understudy bitch is going to ruin the stars.
By pouring pasta.
Pasta? No, that was just paint.
Oh.
It would have been more interesting if it was pasta, but it's paint. No, but who... Reddit. Whatever. Anyway. So, I mean, I enjoyed it, but it's not standing out as something amazing just yet.
It was a good start, absolutely. It just wasn't in any way different
from any of the criminals.
No, I mean each criminal has its own kind of feel while living in the same thing.
Yeah.
And there are stronger ones. Like the first one was amazing, the 70s one. But the Archie one with the weird pervert character.
Yeah, that was pretty amusing.
It didn't have the exact same feel. This just feels... There's been so much noir comics lately in this 40s thing.
Yeah.
This doesn't stick out as having a distinct feel of its own yet.
That's what I'm saying.
But it definitely does... you're intrigued. I want to read the next one.
Yeah.
I'm curious what's going on.
And it was fun that they put out a larger magazine size edition
Yes,
of it.
I didn't really get to see that. You showed it to me very quickly, but it seemed like a cool concept.
Yeah, it was the exact same story. The back matter was slightly different, but it was that huge format was awesome. I enjoyed that, and apparently he's going to do it again with
The next criminal.
something else entirely. I think it was the criminal. Yeah.
No, it's a cool idea. It absolutely is. I mean, you know, I'm sitting here holding a Savage Sword, like reading a magazine. It's a missed thing. Like, they were fun. The art and that slightly, there's a reason they do artist editions and things like that, where you get that larger view of things because it looks cool.
Now, the thing about looking cool is
we would know nothing at all about.
I can look cool. I can look cool. I can't be fucking cool.
Dude, if you look cool, you are cool.
That's not fucking true at all.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. All you gotta do is look good and shut up, and you're fine.
So, if Steve McQueen put on a propeller beanie, he would still be cool? He would cease to be cool?
He wouldn't look cool. You answered your own question.
Really? You know, so, really, of all people, Steve McQueen.
You put Steve McQueen, would he be cool? Yes, he'd still be cool. Would he be as cool as he was before he had a fucking propeller beanie on? No! Unless he did it ironically, and that's so hard to tell.
Ugh, we need more beer. Go get
Damn
some
Skippy.
beer. So yeah, back to weird lack of substance and a strange choice of style, which would totally be Steve McQueen with a propeller beanie. Extinction Parade, war, number 2. This is kooky. So the vampires have finally figured out, you know what, we better fuck up these undead, these zombies here, because they're going to take away our food supply, and I'm not having that. So they've learned how to kill, learned how to fight, but they haven't really learned how to do it efficiently or well just yet, until they come across this nut who has figured out how to dance on zombie heads until they're crushed. And it's kind of this weird martial art dancing thing that you'd see in a lot of kung fu flicks. But it's, you kill zombies with it. And I just found it insanely fucking silly.
I cannot stand this book. I didn't like the first one. I grudgingly understood your attempt because you like Max Brooks to give a second try. But, like, the whole idea... First off, they've made the zombies completely unthreatening to the vampire. So, there's... As far as wars go, like, the only risk the vampires have is,
starving to death.
Yeah, really. Like, in terms of battle... They're just not going to get taken down by the zombies. The zombies aren't even trying to hurt them.
Right.
And an entire... Like, I can understand it. Actually, I couldn't. There's no way that you could introduce vamp foo. Or zombie foo, if you prefer. Either, like, no. It's just a horrible concept. And then the amount of time they spend talking about the correct way to jump up and down on zombie heads... Like, this is an entire issue of this shit.
Yeah, I was greatly disappointed by this.
And it wouldn't stop. It's just like, now, will I give Max Brooks a certain level of credit for really thinking through the difficulties you'd have in learning to stomp on zombie heads? Yeah, he really played into every possible problem you might come across. Oh, wait, no, I'm hurting my ass. Well, that would happen. And here's how you deal with that. Okay, you've really thought this through. You put a ridiculous amount of time figuring out how vampires can stomp on zombie heads. On the other hand, don't fucking do that. That's a giant waste of time and energy.
I was reading that page by page, and I'm just going, dude, where's the punchline, man? There's got to be something else to this, because this can't be it. And it turned out it was totally it. And it's like, stop now. Where's the house ads?
It was just...
Is the killer revealed? It's the brother. Well, that doesn't suck or nothing. Oh, well. So, that leaves us with the much better Uber 16. where we get introduced to Vernon. Now, Vernon is a black soldier in a universe that really didn't like him or want him around. But it turns out that he's got tank man potential. So they're like, all right, well, we got to accept you now. We actually need you. So he's writing to his brother throughout the whole thing. Now, the Blitzmen actually end up sinking his convoy ship, though. So it's kind of like, so are we? Did somebody just find this letter? How do we even know any of this
Isn't he
happened?
floating on a raft at the end or something ridiculous? Let me see this for a sec.
Yeah, take that and tell me, and then I'll move on. Now, Stalin is pushing for the process for tank men, and Maria provides a catalyst for that. Antwerp was besieged with new German supers, and oh yes, Vernon did survive.
Yes. Well, I was actually really impressed up until that point, like that they had spent an entire issue like introducing a character and building up his potential, and then letting him die. Because, from a comic book standpoint, that's ridiculous. But in terms of the military, that makes perfect sense. And I'm not making jokes about the military. What I'm saying is, like, how many guys that had tank man potential died getting to that point?
Right. Well, in Stalin's case, it was several tens of thousands. But
so, but at least we have the idea that things are going to improve. Like there's another possible hero. Uh-oh.
Too much going on in the movie. Give me the book back. We got to move forward. So that I love this book. There's so many things that are great about it. The dialogue's pretty snappy most of the time.
No, it's a solid read. It has really built its world well.
Yep.
You have so much going on, and they don't lightly do these things either. Like, you like the death of Churchill. Like everything has a point and moves forward story.
Yes.
And,
that's a great thing, because a lot of times you'll get things literally just happening to have them happen, and it's not really serving anything at all. So I'm happy about that. Do you have anything else to add?
My one thing, the one thing I'd like to see in Uber is there's simply too many dangling storylines that, like, what the Russian sniper, where he's creating mana for troops in prison. Like they have these things that they start and then they kind of veer off. We haven't gone back to the Japanese yet for the most part.
Yeah, and that's been quite some time.
Right,
too.
they hint at these things in here, but it'd be nice to see some of these storylines pulled together a bit more. That would be my one thing. But everything he does is so well done.
There's no doubt. I love it.
It's a great book.
I don't know what else to say. There's nothing else to be said for the issue. There's nothing else to be said for Kieran Gillen himself. The art's always absolutely great.
Yep.
I'm going to switch gears again.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, you never like it when I say that. Conan the Avenger #5.
Now, this is the last Conan.
This is the last one we
Which
get.
is annoying. We should have gone to 6 just to finish the stupid storyline out, but at the same time, I so don't care.
Yep. At this point, the Witchfinder is interrupted by a command to visit Conan. Why? Who the fuck knows? The Witchfinder lets Thuthmith, whoever the fuck he is, know it's a sham. Thuthmith throws him in a pit, breaks his leg. I can't Thuth. I can't deal with Thuth.
No, the pronunciation of these names is just laughably awful. It's the snout in the dark. There's a monster down there. Conan has thrown his whole wife away by scarring the queen, or princess, queen, whatever, the woman he's stooping, who's sister to the king. And then at the same time, he scars her face while he's rescuing the slave girl with no tongue. Yeah. I don't care.
And he does. They accuse a fortune teller of being a witch so that they can have their scapegoat. Conan hallucinates Belit again.
But less and less because he's been making choices where she's like, no.
Yes.
You don't get to hallucinate my hot ass. You're going to act that dumb.
And a pig demon shows up.
Well,
Oh, joy, pig demons. I mean, how do you not love pig demons?
It's pretty easy. I did in Hellboy, but I just didn't
Were there pig demons in Hellboy?
Yeah, remember the fairy that would have revenge after he was burned with iron? So he, I always forget that you didn't read Hellboy to the ridiculous degree that I did.
Nope, sure didn't.
The fact of the matter is that all the elements of Conan are there. They're just not connecting the way this book should be.
Nah, there really isn't. Not in this storyline, anyway. Maybe the next one.
We'll never know.
The cat's back. The cat came back the very next day. So, you want to stop talking about Conan?
I am all set being about good day.
So, the GOON is some talky shit, and I didn't even finish it because of that.
God damn you! We get some delving into the background character of their friendly zombie friend and his origin. There's a lot of darkness in the GOON, and it's they offset that with poop jokes. The GOON is just it's its own little weird entity of like 30s and Mel Brooks and Mad Magazine. Like, it's just such an odd concept, but like every now and then he'll just fire out this really dark storyline. But evil religious people are coming to take the GOON's town. He's found a girl, which will of course end badly. You can always tell when he's getting serious because he draws something in sepia every time. And meanwhile, the harlot that drove a guy to kill himself is being haunted by the same guy. There's a lot happening. And
it's all in text too. There's just walls and walls of letters everywhere. And I'm not intimidated by letters.
Well,
but
you know what?
Something else, maybe?
This wouldn't have bothered you at all if you cared remotely about the GOON.
Yes.
And the thing is, if you're basically prejudging this, and I don't blame you, because you hate the GOON. And we talked about this with the first issue in this series. Like, if this had been your first experience with the GOON, it would have been because this is a more developed storyline. And the funny thing about Powell is that he does all these light things and dark things, but when he draws, like when he wants to, he puts some impressive looking shit down on the page.
Oh no, I did notice that. Absolutely.
So if you had come across, if the first GOON you ever read, it was Occasion for Revenge 1 and 2, you'd be like, well, I don't understand any of this, but this is pretty fucking good. Because the story aspect of this is much stronger than some of the other things we've come across.
Yeah.
Like the first couple of graphics. Yes, there's still, stop putting poop in my beer. But you have to admit, in these two, now you didn't finish this one, but that's been so much lighter in these two than in some of the previous ones. Like, this isn't a particularly silly storyline. There's no giant, there's not a half robot scientist, there's no giant lizard monsters.
There were lizard monsters?
Oh, God, I have no idea how
there
little
were robot
GOON...
scientists?
Oh, absolutely.
Damn.
You may have to go back, dude.
Maybe.
But, yeah, I feel like this is a good jumping on point, except for the fact that the world is so convoluted at this point. There's never going to be a good jumping on point again.
Yuck. She just put a circular saw in his gut. Crazy talk. Crazy
Dude,
talk.
is that guy just carrying dead people around? Like,
no, those people aren't dead.
I don't like this.
This has become a very strange show now that people are dying.
Oh,
very Carrie moment. And it's her fault. She put that stuff up there. At any rate, Groo versus Conan. Conan is accosted by the townspeople trying to get rid of Groo. He hires on with them, of course, because there's an adventure to be had and gold to be made.
Well, he's told that Groo is a giant monster that kills everyone it comes across.
Adventure to be had.
Yeah.
Now, Sergio, unfortunately, is still wandering around hallucinating in his hospital gown, which must be just
the ugliest goddamn
the
thing.
most terrible thing you're ever going to see outside in the real world. Sergio hangs out with some bums who just happen to be all named after comic book publishers.
Well, the implication is they're all comic book publishers who have lost their job for hiring Sergio.
Too bad Jim Shooter's not in there. I would have paid an extra $1 if Jim Shooter was in this motherfucker. Now, Groo can't decide whether to destroy the bakery or not because he loves him some buttery bread.
Yes, but if he doesn't, then he can't get the money which would allow him to afford bread.
Yes. So it's a conundrum, and his tiny little mind cannot handle it. So, whatever. Conan meets Groo, but doesn't realize, in fact, who it is, because that is the essence of comedy.
Well, for those of you who've read Groo, inevitably, when Groo is assigned to team up or murder or have anything to do with someone, he meets them and gets confused. This is Groo 101. I think you're this person. No, I'm this person. I don't understand that thought, so I'm going to continue along my way.
That's good. It's fun, though.
It is
It's not high quality comedy to me. It is enjoyable. It is fun.
Is it on par with some of the truly great Groo moments? Not necessarily. I think what I like the most about it, though, is how smartly they kind of jumped into this by having the Groo fantasy, the Sergio fantasy aspect of Groo and Conan, and that because if it were just 4 issues of Groo meeting Conan, it wouldn't be anywhere near as good as this.
I suppose.
The fact that they, are using Sergio's mental illness as a plot point is just fucking awesome. It's so much better for that. And the 2 art styles, they do their best, but it doesn't necessarily flow well. It's kind of like, if Punisher Archie had been drawn by 2 different people, and you just be like, oh, you draw your guy here. It never looks this. It never meshes.
It is a little. It makes it disjointed a bit. I can't say it's disconcerting.
No, it's not terrible by any stretch.
It does throw you off a teeny bit, So, ugh. What can be said about Manifest Destiny that hasn't been said yet?
Well, it looks like they're finally they're adapting. The characters are the cool thing about this book is the overall concept.
Yeah.
And there really are basically 5 characters at this point. You've got Lewis and Clark. You've got their female friends. Actually, sorry, 7. There are 7 characters. There's Pocahontas and not Sacagawea.
Sacagawea.
And her weird French husband thing.
Yeah.
And then there's that horribly creepy convict dude.
Yeah.
8 if you include the black slave, but you can't even call him a character yet.
He hasn't even spoken a line, has he?
Hey, he's had a couple, this way, but you wouldn't call him a master of dialogue. But
now this time around, they've been trying to kill that stupid demon frog thing, and frankly, they're failing miserably because.
They're getting better, though. That's the thing. They're starting to figure out how to deal with things differently.
Yeah, they are developing plans to do it. Some of the men are collecting samples, and Sacagawea is looking for Hardy and the girl who had wandered off out into the woods in the previous issue and gotten eaten by giant fucking mosquitoes.
Well, bitten.
Well, when you're that fucking big and you get bitten, you're eaten. So.
No, because remember, the mosquito did something else horrible instead.
Yes, I'm being just disingenuous about it.
Crafty.
I know all about it. Whatever.
And there's horrible rapes and
attempted.
Yeah,
attempted. And the captain beats Hardy for that, of course, with justifiably so. But it turns out the mosquito only infected Hardy, which is what we found out this issue. We weren't sure last issue. And now a giant fucking monster, horrifying mutant mosquito comes out of his back like some kind of fucking mutant Athena out of the brow of Zeus.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
It's just...
Wow. Dude, that is the worst fucking comparison. It's like, here's a god birth. Oh, and here's a fucking evil mosquito crawling out of this rapist's back.
Do you know any other thing you can compare it to?
Alien?
Okay. However,
literally, it took me 1 second to top you.
However, in Alien, never mind. The thing came out fully formed out of Hardy, whereas in Alien, it was just kind of a pupae thing. Right? And then it developed into the whatever the fuck. So, yeah, anyway, Lobster Johnson.
No, I mean, Manifest Destiny, actually, I went out and I bought a copy of, at the library book sale, I got a copy of Lewis and Clark's journals.
Oh,
to
neat.
kind of compare and see, if character-wise they're similar. I mean, God knows when I'll get to that, but, it's so well done that it made me consider looking at that, into that, which is impressive. Like, this is such a strong book, and it came out of nowhere. I don't see a lot of people talking about it, and it is a damn fine book.
That confuses me. I don't see anybody talking about it.
It's such a weird concept thing, but it's so Lovecraftian. I think that if people were reading it, the covers are impressive, but they don't call.
Yeah, they don't really. I mean, a giant butterfly is one thing. I mean, so what? Yeah, when you think about it for half a second and look at it at a different angle, that's a very crazy, creepy butterfly. But you have to take that extra second, because otherwise you're just like, yeah, it's a fucking butterfly. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, well, even with a creepy butterfly, though, you're not like, oh, I need to buy the creepy butterfly. But
exactly.
This is a book that needs to be read. Like, it is a strong. We were gonna drop it, and it has not because we didn't like it, just economically. It's like, well, we were gonna drop it for a podcast, which might be the worst reason ever. Like, it's hard to talk about. Let's just stop reading the good thing. We'll keep reading shitty books because they're more easy to talk about. That's what I do for my entertainment. It's like I will actually weed out things I enjoy for you fuckers that don't even listen. Keep getting Conan, but no, drop that.
No. It's changed. It's fine. We're continuing on with Manifest Destiny.
Back in the saddle again. Ow! Wow, Aerosmith reference. Dated. Yeah.
But we wouldn't drop everything we enjoyed because then we'd be out of Lobster Johnson.
Lobster Johnson.
Lobster Johnson.
It's a spinoff.
It's the underrated spinoff, really. It's Get the Lobster. Finally finishing up. We were kind of worried about it for a little while there. Where was it? Didn't know. Number 5. So, holy crap. There's a big car chase battle thingy. Lobster chases Waxman through the Zeppelin. Waxman tried to escape on, which is always fun. It's nice to see Zeppelins.
It is. It is always nice to see a Zeppelin.
Devil Dwarf buzzes them on the top of the Zeppelin in a biplane, which is another thing. A midget flying a biplane, buzzing a Zeppelin is just like, come back when the street lights come on, you kooky bastard.
Now, this is written by Mignola, and who's the other guy? Is it Arcudi?
Yes.
All right. I want you to remember that's the guy who created Major Bummer. So you gotta.
I see what you're saying. We need to finish these up because I can't continue speaking.
But
they blow up the blimp.
Well, of course, dude.
God's sake.
The best thing about pulps is blimps. Like, if you're a supervillain without a blimp, and I believe, sadly, I've actually talked about this before. Like, you're the crappy supervillain. Like, if you haven't had at least one blimp caper in your past, you're not trying very hard.
Really? I mean,
my hatred of '90s comics is mostly because of the complete lack of blimps. Carnage, blimpless. There was never a Carnage blimp. Cardiac never had a blimp.
Youngblood.
Blimpless. Nope, not one.
Even fucking Wildcats. No blimps.
And
They had the midget, but no blimp.
yeah, and Badrock, that guy can't even look like a blimp. Like, you know, you could just fucking put helium in him.
You know, speaking of Rob Liefeld.
We weren't, but
And
anyway.
don't we regret saying that sentence? I've been rereading a bunch of Peter David's blogs, and I got back to him republishing some of his stuff from Comics Buyer's Guide in '93, and he was talking about Rob Liefeld doing swipes, or as Rob Liefeld called them, he was tributing.
Oh, I remember that. Like direct steals of pictures,
Yes.
just redrawn.
So Rob said, "No, man, I only done 10." So David put out to his column readers, "Go find me swipes Rob Liefeld has done." 150 swipes later, and some of them were some John Byrne. And John Byrne said, if he was going to swipe something, he could at least swipe a panel I liked doing.
I love Byrne, man. I miss that dude back when he wasn't a shitheel crazy.
But that's Lobster Johnson. I mean, damn, did it again.
It is so much fun. Lobster Johnson.
No, you're doing it.
No, I do it intentionally.
Oh, fuck you. The good cops brush out the whole affair under the rug, and the article is published because she feels that she did all that fucking work, so she wants her pay. Hello. Well, that's early. Isn't it? So, yeah. Lobster Johnson. Unassailably flung.
It is the most fun of all the spin-offs of Hellboy. BPRD has this huge, massive storyline that we just haven't delved into enough, and it's one of the things that we have to really, start looking at graphics of, and because it's an epic tale, and every time we've picked one up, we're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, somebody on Twitter told me where to start, and I totally didn't write it down.
God damn it.
But, I mean, it'll be easy enough to figure out again. It can't be that bad. I mean, there's got to be a Wikipedia in there somewhere that lists them in order.
Yeah, no.
It's the old Meteor creates the zombies routine.
Anything that brings a zombie at this point, I'm happy with.
Right. So, unfortunately, there aren't any zombies in SKULLKICKERS.
There might be, actually.
Eventually, because, enough taverns in time will get you somewhere. Now, the thing is, this is 30. This is issue 30, and I think this is pretty much the end, right? For the moment.
This is the final. They're in their final 6-issue story arc.
Yeah. So this is amusing, but it was kind of weird and pointless variations on the Rolf and Gun Guy pair.
Yeah, it basically just their alternate version. You had a Chinese monk storyline.
Yeah,
and
that
then
one
a
amused
space
me.
adventure one.
That one was okay.
And then there was, I believe, one more, which was it Bikers and Zombies? That's
Yes.
So there were zombies in this one. I thought so.
The guy can write a fucking fun book.
I am not happy that this book is ending. Like, I have no interest in seeing this go away.
Well, they're just trading it for shorter arcs, right?
No, this is the final arc, and then
it's
done.
It's totally over.
I mean, he could revisit it depending on success elsewhere.
I was under the impression that he was going to go the Atomic Robo route.
Oh, 6-issue miniseries.
Yeah.
That's possible. When I read the letter, it was that they're ending the book itself. Whether or not they're going to revisit the characters is very possible, but
well, hopefully they can give us a bit of fun with that. Now, we're going to end the night on a book that's been getting steadily more fun, even though
you don't want to like this book.
I don't want to like the book because I never finished the movie.
Really?
I did. I've seen bits and pieces of it with Dalton. I've seen bits and pieces of it with you. I have never seen it credit to credit.
You need to.
I tried just a few weeks ago. I couldn't do it. And you shouldn't be shocked because I told you that back then.
I just don't understand. It's a great film.
I didn't get to the great parts.
How far did you get 3 weeks ago? By the way, we're talking about Big Trouble in Little China.
Yes.
Let's just be clear on that. Okay, so how far did you get? Fuck you, audience. Like, I need to know this. Like,
Jack had shown up, but the kid was having a rough time convincing him that something about the money.
so you didn't get anywhere towards the actual fighting or anything?
No, there was absolutely no plot developed where I got to. I was just like, are you guys going to do something?
Dude, I am so disappointed in you. My brother-in-law has a massive poster of Big Trouble in Little China.
I know, and if I told Dalton this, he would slap me silly.
And you own it, right? Or you have a burnt
of course
copy?
I don't own it. No. Why would I own a movie I didn't care about?
So how were you watching it?
Netflix.
Oh, okay. And then you mail it back?
Yeah.
Dude, I want to smack you.
At any rate, this book has gripped me a little more than that. This is issue 3. Now, Egg and Jack have finally reached the House of the Seven-Faced Widow, which is just such a total Chinese mythology name. And I'm right with it, because it's bang on. I've read about Chinese myths. I haven't read Chinese myths, because, my mythology needs to end with fucking Hercules, because it starts just getting too expansive after that.
Yeah, pretty much.
But you never really learned about the Aboriginal fucking, the Zuzu tribe of Mandalia. They have a mythology that's... No, fuck you. One at a time. I don't even know all the myths of the ones I know, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I pretty much... everything I know about Chinese or Japanese mythology comes from Urasagi Yojimbo. So, I got nothing.
So they go to the House of the Seven-Faced Widow, which sounds like a martial arts flick, really. The monkeys want to pee on Jack's truck, which amuses me terribly.
And normally your love of monkey comics is not high, so
Not high.
These are some amusing monkeys as a result.
Now, apparently Jack's fourth wife, and I'm enjoying these flashbacks to his other wives. These are amusing to me. She was hypnotizing him and having him kill people, which is pretty funny. They finally meet the widow, and Jack starts insulting her right off the bat. Like, this is false advertising, man. We saw all these statues that made you look phenomenal, and now you're that.
Well, that is your classic. Like, if Jack's whole Jack does not shrink in the face of pressure. He full on attacks it and insults it and pisses it off.
Now, on top of that, he goes, "Whoa, hey, fat guy with a fucking saw blade in his face." He steals the jars they were supposed to negotiate or work for, because fuck it, she's not going to follow him because she's the size of 12 huts. So, and they get back to the monkeys, and the monkeys confront them, and there's monkeys in trucks and jars.
It's fun. It is the Goon at its best, but with a character that people know in a world that they're already familiar with. Like, if you like this, you should look the Goon, but I can't guarantee that you'll like the Goon, because there are some diametric fucking opposites floating out there.
Yeah, and mainly this is fun.
But the crude humor is there. I mean, you got monkeys like peeing on the truck, and you're enjoying that.
But they're so insistent on it. It's like, no, don't do it yet. I kind of have to go. So
I'm just gonna pee on the truck. It is a lot of fun. I'm very happy with the book. I love Big Trouble in Little China. I actually need to watch it now, because god damn it.
At any rate, that's our show. And if you remember,
how are we time-wise?
We're at an hour. And we do like to leave you, as noted previously, with a feeling of when the show's over. So, at this point, go yourself.
Bless you, fuckers!
And away. The Mean Geek is recorded live at the Reverend Mad Duck's apartment whenever the hell we can get to it. Find us on Facebook, Stitcher, Twitter under @TheMeanerGeek. Subscribe to us through RSS.
Or we can be located at our own site, www.themeangeek.com. And most importantly of all, you can find us as a proud member of the Comics Podcast Network.
Email us directly at themeanergeek@gmail.com.
Can I drink now?
You may.